And just one more electric eel, maybe? Could be more still hiding in the pond here, but looks like not. Fantastic. Immediately remove our exclusion, and let's finish off the floor, shall we? Reading the electric eel flop chart on dry land multiple times and watching them die makes you feel like a monster. I mean, you are. Let's not sugarcoat it too much. We're all kind of monsters here. I mean, what did the majority of the denizens of the jungle? That's not where we are. The denizens of the dungeon, what did the majority of them do to us to, you know, allow us to justify a complete home invasion? We're just completely trespassing on their land where, you know, they've lived for generations for all we know. I feel like anytime you start thinking too much about the morality of the majority of RPG-based games, you're gonna be pretty disgusted with what you find, because the majority of protagonist characters are absolute murder machines without a sense of, or without a single iota of empathy for the poor creatures we find along the journey. Except for Natasha, of course. Natasha, Pickles summons the Lemures, and of course, Uaf. Always respect Uaf. Should I open the consumables panel so you can see options? Sure, I definitely can. In fact, I was thinking of putting that on the genie earlier, and I maybe should have. Could have potentially at least gotten me a little bit more into the critical thinking mind state. Right, and I was supposed to be thinking about this curse, because melee combat is a pretty nice category, just the sheer spectrum of skill points that we get there, and it actually kind of works on a null because we can switch to any weapon that we find along our journey, so that's pretty sweet. Fighting and spellcasting alone is pretty solid boost as well. So let's see, what could we curse if we wanted to? Just the Ring of Willpower. I guess we have a spare, right? We did pick up another one en route, so we could just bind this one for now and then switch it off in the future if necessary. In fact, I think I do like that. Like the sound of that, so let's do so. Do I want to fight this troll? Surprised it's not in red. I actually kind of expected you to be a scarier enemy by the game standards. Guess if we can poison you up a bit, or, you know, just completely one-sidedly decide the fight, that works too. Turns out I was just very wrong with my assessment. Got scared off by the two-headed ogre. Felt like we couldn't take on anything without needing to be dreadfully scared. And unfortunately, we're not in a good place when it comes to hallways. This is generally the situation where you want to be able to just corner yourself in a nice little lockbox. But as is, let's instead just apply poison liberally here and just finish the fight, I guess. Yeah, 11 AC, 18 evasion. I don't know how we're doing well so far. And true for the eel thing, but at least you could have given them a more swift and humane death than flopping around on dry land. This is true, but it does become a bit of a harder question. When your own life is in danger, I mean, putting aside the points that I was making earlier about us being the true bad guys here, you know, that slight inconsistency and complete issue with the morality of it all. You do have to worry about yourself and your own continued survival. So it makes sense. What did you have, a +3 longsword? Should be able to fight you. I like it less when your friend is coming in to join the party, +4 short sword. Okay, that should be okay still. Checking each and one of these, +4 flail. No low baby numbers on this crowd, hey? Interesting. I also don't really want to be hit by Curari, but I do want to kill this brigand, if possible. Perfect. So let's call some attention to ourselves and then meet up here. That's where having the kind of minor omnipotent sight mechanics like antenna or Ashinzari's knowledge does kind of help out. Knowing which side the enemy is going to walk around, you can trick them out to make sure that you step in at the exact moment, because otherwise we were definitely taking Curari darts to the face there. Almost no doubt about it. Warriors, hello, goodbye. I would really like to check out this armor shop. There we go. Helmet of Sea Invisible is quite nice. +0 scale mail Suval. Dex +5 is interesting. I mean, Dex +5 is pretty nice on an invasion character. It's technically as good as what we're wearing now in terms of AC, so I should at least think about it, right? +2 leather armor, cold resistance. I guess if we check that out, AC would decrease by 3. That's maybe a little bit more than I'm willing to give up. Quicksilver Dragon Scales could bring us up 4 AC. That could be interesting. The armor repels both attacks on the wearer's willpower and magical modification of itself. It cannot be enchanted. Huh, I feel like I don't really use Quicksilver Dragon Scales that often. So I wasn't necessarily aware of all those little mechanics. That's kind of fun. I was definitely just drawn to it based on all the new dragon armor sprites. They look fantastic and so cool. And yes, you're definitely right, Eggly, with the full RC from our rings. Leather armor becomes slightly less potentially useful than it otherwise might be. Very important to take note of for sure. Let's switch to our sling temporarily here. I might even be able to fight you both now that I think about it. Yeah, that actually went better than originally expected. It's ready to retreat, full retreat and get away, but that's a-okay. And instead, let's just get back to moving, shall we? I actually probably want Potions of Lig, so let's pick that up. Then again, some enemies are literally tormenting you. I still don't know where I land on that. We're in some weird moral gray zone because are they allowed legally? Are they allowed to torment you upon trespassing in their home? I think it might be fair. Also, I absolutely love when enemies go invisible. It causes the AI on others to break. These centaurs just absolutely destroying that shadow. Well, they couldn't see it. Kind of owe the shadow one for taking the hits for us, I guess. Curse of Cunning and Beguiling would give us translocations, conjurations, and Cunning gives dodging and stealth. Could definitely use it, right? Don't know if we have a whole lot more to curse here. No, just our falchion, which I'm not necessarily willing. So might have to wait. Fortunately, this buddy has a Trident of Freezing, which we're pretty strong against at the moment. Love to see it. And goodbye, Hornet Pal. Yeah, where is our stealth sitting at with the other... Not Beguiling, the other Cunning curse that we put on? Up to 7.6? We look on this screen, we have 3 pips of stealth, so that's okay. It's not exactly stealthy, but it's something, as we saw from sneaking up on the Hornet there. What the heck is even that? Why do I have multiple Tengus on D10? Hey game, what's up with that? I mean, at least they're just warriors, so they don't have the almost one-shot potential spells that the Reavers would have, but still, not exactly ideal. 60 health, output a ridiculous sum of damage on their own end. Oh boy, very Monka, yeah. But we're just going to ignore those problems for now. Anytime you see something that you're not equipped to handle, just ignore it and walk away. That's my life lesson for all of you. In the video game, of course. But we do get a +2 cloak. So let's take a look at our old cloak here. It gave self and companions. This is actually the bonus that we didn't care for very much. Companions was kind of useless for my current strategy moving forward. So I think I will just break some chains. Do I need cunning and... oh, it was burglary? I thought it... no, that's beguiling. Just using similar letters. For whatever reason, BGLG in my head is just burglaring. But I guess fairly similar in terms of some of the skills. Specifically, like translocations and hexes would be useful in both beguiling and burglaring people. So my brain is only slightly broken. Only mostly broken. Let's destroy our cloak real quick here. That's fine. We don't need Astral Sight immediately, and we'll instead wear, oops, not wield, let's wear this fantastic cloak. Ooh, nice brilliant royal red as well. Love to see it. Looking good, my Null friend, looking good. Oh my gosh, those are some scary faces in there. So let's maybe not go exploring into this weird little special area. Also, stay away from those Tengus. How many times have I told you, son? Those Tengus are bad business. Oh, my centaur friend, if you could just come this way, please, and thank you. Perfect. So kind. So thoughtful. And here's what we should maybe do. Let's just drop a big ol' exclusion on these sons of guns. Hopefully, we can stay away from there with the auto explorer. And the rest of the floor might just be a bit more manageable. Might be the actual denizens that you'd expect for D10. Wouldn't that be nice? But I will take the potion. Just because I'm greedy, game. You got me. Caught me red-handed there. We'll head up this way. You can see that we lost a little bit of health, giving up the introspection bonus on our old cloak. But it shouldn't take too long to train back up to that point. Genie is pretty with Ashen's you don't get offered spell school curses, and introspection is the only curse you need. Yeah, that's, I believe, what we did in the Win with Every Species series for our Genie. And it was ridiculous. Every single piece of equipment, except for maybe one, I think, had introspection on it. So we just had a ridiculously strong spellcasting and fighting score. It was absolutely incredible. Okay, this is exactly what I was scared about and expecting from this weird little corridor area. Less than ideal, to say the least. I guess we didn't draw quite as much attention as I initially suspected, so that's okay. You can also see that we are attacking more than once per turn, so that's pretty sweet. Dang it, you saw me, hey? Hey, my Tengu friend. Oh, you're also slightly faster than average. You cover ground quickly. Oh no. Oh, no, 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 no. So let's take a look at our options here. We could start Ice Blasting you, at least gets around the evasion. Get some extra damage. We could try the chessboard piece. It did pretty well for us earlier. We got very lucky and mostly got like petrification or slowing. Let's try once and see what we get. That's very bad. Okay, Twist and Deforms is not going to do it for us. So we've hasted them, and we've given them the Deformed Melt mutation, which does mean they have less defenses than before, but that's mostly an AC thing. Their evasion, I'm guessing, is still going to be just as terrifying. So let's try one more. You resisted with significant effort, hey? One last one. Please petrify. One last one that works is what I was trying to say, of course. Oh gosh. Hopefully your friend doesn't see us. Oh no. Oh no. I'm surprised you're missing us this often. I guess we have 18 evasion, 28% chance to hit. Still kind of beating the odds here. Zombieing as usual. That's fair enough. I mean, what could I possibly have expected in the first place? So haste doesn't quite get us there. Teleport is a little bit dangerous on this map. A lot of unexplored territory. If we end up in the vault, then I'm gonna definitely regret it. But of course we never didn't have it, and this is a fantastic place to land. Komodo dragon, please don't notice me. Okay, that's fine too. You can do up to 34 damage, 31% chance to hit us. I might be able to kill you real quick, or at least get you lethally poisoned and then run away. Fantastic. And let's check out this potion shop before the Tengu come crawling back from all angles. Degeneration potion. Normally, I do occasionally like to buy these just for the free ID. It's so cheap, but of course with Ashinzari, not exactly necessary. So let's instead just buy heal wounds and maybe mark the haste as potential buys in the future. We at least have 2 of those on us. That brings us up to 3 heal wounds. Spectacular. How does my chest piece do stuff? Your chest piece always says easily resists. So yeah, it always depends on the willpower of the enemies you're using it on. I'm actually surprised in hindsight that the Tengu had such a hard time resisting. Is the zombie piece dependent on evocations too? I think that is also a factor, yes. So I mean, our current evocations is at 6, so you know, not great, but not bad. Let's take a quick peek here, shall we? Shimmering multicolored chest piece belonging to Zom, God of Chaos. The strength of the effect, positive or negative, is increased with evocations. Oh, so it might not be the percentage or the chances of it actually working or activating on the enemy. That might just be a willpower check, and it's more so the length of time or the magnitude of the effect. Strength in one way or another. Interesting. Don't know why I'm just going back to auto-exploring the floor like a fool. Let's maybe duck out this way temporarily, shall we? Don't really want to run into those Tengu again if possible. I mean, sure, when I play Tengu, they're little glass cannons that just shatter upon fighting pretty much anything we come across in the game, but no, when it's an enemy Tengu, it's an absolute nightmare. Cyclops, I see you. I see you, and I will respect you this time. Let's not die to another one of those in less than a couple hours. That would be embarrassingly stupid, or embarrassingly stupid, even for me, and that's saying something. For sure. But it's funny, yeah, with a lot of the questions around the chess piece here, I have to give my best guesses and kind of hypotheses because I do not find myself using pieces from Zom's chessboard too often. As you saw with the Tengu there, if you give haste to something in an inopportune moment and then none of the other triggers do anything to help you out to negate that bonus, then oh boy. Oh me oh my. Are you in for a little bit of a tough spell? Fortunately, the teleport saved us, and fortunately we have ridiculous evasion early on in this run. Otherwise, I think that Tengu would have just absolutely destroyed us without a care in the world. But wait, I just remembered why I initially stopped there, and it was to check out our curse. We got evocations offered, which I do love my evocations. Zom's chest piece aside, the rest of the rechargeable evocables, chef's kiss, absolutely incredible stuff. Gaining poison magic and transmutations, not super excited about the prospect, but we could end up using them. You use them if you don't have anything better to do, like throwing stones, for example. Yeah, ideally, if you have a full 7 space gap, you know, they're at edge of your line of sight, and you're able to just keep stacking on it, you hope that it doesn't turn out like we saw with the Tengu, where you easily get the first one that buffs them up and then all the others fail. But generally, if you're playing with probabilities in mind, you would think that you have pretty good odds of getting one of the kind of paralysis, petrification buffs in the mix there, which is huge. Let's see. I think the only thing we can curse right now is our cloak and weapon. So we could do the cloak, but I like the evocations so much. I feel like that's blinding me to the fact that I'm not sure if the poison and transmutation is ever going to really go our way. How many heads do you have? 6 heads. I can actually probably kill a 6-headed Hydra. I may be proven wrong and feel like an idiot here. But 13 AC, decent evasion. No, I can't even touch you. Hey, friend. I'm sorry for overstepping my bounds there. I should have known. You are a god amongst reptiles, and for that I truly apologize. Let's try and slow you with a cold burst. Not quite. Wait, and you have 7 heads now. Oh, we're using a falchion. I thought I had a small blade for a second, and I thought we weren't going to be chopping off heads. This could have gone a heck of a lot worse. I deserve much worse than what we got here. Well, in that case, let's try and run around for a little bit here. If we get the random energy like this, it does mean that we can potentially just run upstairs. Okay, we lost it. Gain it again? Shucks. Well, that's a shame, too bad. We'll maybe do 1 or 2 more loops here. And then we can always start resorting to some of our other options. There we go. But I will chase you down, friend. +6 Vorpal Sphere was actually better than I initially thought looking at that. So could have gone much worse, but not too bad. With more than 1 enemy in line of sight, Zom's chess piece is purely cosmetic. I definitely would agree with you there. As we saw when we tried to get it to hit the 2-headed ogre and instead just got the zombie that was waddling along in the background. A bit less than ideal, and that's only with 1 extra target. Each one you add on there is just really tanking your chances at success. But I guess we have this stairwell here. If we see the Hydra again from a distance, we can use Zom's chess piece, or we can just completely obliterate them with Ice Blasts and just keep firing till it all works out. So let's give it a shot. I'm willing to just explore on the floor as well because it's a pretty straightforward layout. And we did leave the Hydra in the middle of a relatively explored area, so I don't think we'll find them as we find other monsters. Could be proven wrong. I sure hope not, though. Shadow moves out of view. Where are you, my shadowy friend? Game was really unhappy for a moment there. Okay, we have multiple enemies. There we go. We just have the 7-headed Hydra in sight now. Let's stand on our stairs and let's see what we get. Resist with some effort. Slowed. It's something. Let's see if I can petrify you. Not quite. One more time. Oh, you're mited. Oh, that's very bad. Well, fortunately you're slowed, so I am just going to run away. But otherwise, holy moly. So let's back up here. Oh, apparently our Hydra friend just kind of lost us. Or no, maybe they were just slower than I expected, actually, because they did pop around that corner in the end. Okay. I wait here. There we go. No, not stronger. Turn them invisible. Now we stop them moving, unfortunately. With the mited, I don't think I can afford to go up for the backstabs here. I think that's gonna end with them waking up and just obliterating us, especially since we'll be chopping off heads in our attempts. So instead, oh, let's maybe not step back that much. Let's start blasting. Should take like 4 or 5. Ideally 3, but there we go. Managed to take out our first scary Hydra pal. Cyclops, we'll leave you alone for now. Glad you didn't wake up, friend. I'm happy you're getting your sleep these days. And let's see, we did get Lair explored and we did get our orc. So let's head over to Lair, shall we? Whoa. Has to hit correct enemies, useful effect, and beat willpower. Yeah, it's a lot of pieces to the puzzle there that you're hoping will turn up in a fortuitous fashion. Our recurrent heads petrified would be nice, right? Or I guess if it's going to be realistic, I'm curious. If you chopped off a petrified Hydra's head, yeah, would that grow back with just alive tissue instead of magically petrified? Depends on how exactly the regenerative qualities work, right? And I guess how petrification, since that's also generally a magical quality or a component. Huh. Be fun to try and apply a bit more of a scientific theory or I guess overview onto that. I always really enjoy worlds that kind of blend fantasy and science in really interesting and fun ways and try and give credible explanations for how things might interact in a real-ish world scenario. Always a lot of fun to at least think about it. It's what brought us to the whole how do you concuss a Hydra, or more importantly, if I concuss one Hydra head, how does that affect the rest of the sentient being, or yeah, sentient being in general? Who knows? The science just hasn't quite caught up yet. So anyway, I just started ice blasting. Hello, my dumb wolf friends. If the majority of you could just get caught up on that side of the pond, I think we would be very happy moving forward. Fantastic. In the end, they ended up kind of swarming us, and that was actually slightly worse results than I initially expected, but still not too shabby. Have killed the Komodo before, so I think we can do it again. Anytime you say that on an invasion-based character, you're just asking to be proven wrong, but we're good. In Hydra Slayer, if you attack with axes, they grow stunned heads, but axes can't cut stunned heads. Swords grow awake heads, but they can cut any heads. Interesting. That's fun. Fun little spin on it. Okay, we don't have any positivity in our life right now, so Nergal might be a little bit of a pain in the butt here. That bolt of draining is going to hurt quite a bit. Let's double check our own resistances though. Okay, it is as we suspected. No positivity here. Nothing but the most negative vibes. Negative vibes only, apparently, for this character. So let's just leave you alone for now. Oh, you're gonna come our way. Oh, and we're at the entrance. Well, fine. I guess we'll head upstairs. Kanto dies to the poison at least, but Nergal is just gonna be waiting there for us, huh? How about that? Do a search, make sure I didn't miss any positive energy stuff, and unfortunately I did not. Oof. Oof. In that case, let's maybe check out Orc. I hear Orc is nice this time of year. Maybe this will go a little bit more smoothly. My Orc pals, goodbye. Chainmail of poison resistance. We didn't already have that in spades. It would definitely be on the menu here. Let's let the poison take care of our Orc warrior friend as we get close to half health. Fantastic. We just have to do a bit more work here, and then ideally we can head back to Lair and maybe take out Nergal before we have to start compromising too hard on our overall path plan here. As an Orc warrior with a glaive just absolutely brutalizes us. That's always rough stuff. Let's just split the party up here a little bit if possible. And yeah, we'll just heal up. Might as well play it a little bit safe here if possible. In fact, let's smack you a couple times with this and finish the job before turn back to the wizard. Fantastic stuff. Those glaives hurt for sure. Hurt real bad. Okie dokie. on a little bit more of a roll in this section compared to our attempt in Lair, getting shut down almost instantaneously. Of course, it's not all over yet, especially as we see another two-headed ogre. Gonna try and poison you a bit, though I am slightly scared as to how the numbers work out here if we decide to fight. Maybe we'll step back here and we'll just Ice Blast. That does, in fact, do the trick. Fantastic stuff. Not too shabby. And there we go. Orc 1 done and done. And I'm curious what awaits us down this direction. Okay, that is just an optional vault. I was scared by the extremely red, angry face, of course, but we're okay. Oh, hello, Marcel. Is that your name? It's something. Maurice, of course. The other Marcel. I think we can kind of deal with you. You're more annoying than anything. We should actually be able to take you down without too much trouble, all things considered. In fact, if you want to sprint towards us, that kind of helps me with splitting up the enemy ranks. So that could be very handy and nice, if you could be so kind. Or not, that's cool too. We'll just kill you the old-fashioned way as you just steal all of our stuff. Don't put on our rings, sir. I will blast you. I will not hesitate to blast you. And let's go pick up all of our stuff real quick. Ah, Cyclops. You stole our cloak, hey? And our Ice Blast wand. Okay, we'll just pick up these. Don't you boulder me. Perfect. I mean, I can maybe take you out. So wait a second. That's a different +2 cloak. Oh, that's... For a second, I was wondering if Maurice could steal things that we're wearing. Turns out, not actually the case. I was unknowingly incorrect about that. We just had 2 +2 cloaks. Well, he had 1 and we had 1. Regardless, end of the day, if our enemies have 1, it kind of means that we do, because what's theirs is mine, right? That seems fair. We have ranged and companions? I don't think so. Which S branches in this game, we never got to see them, so who knows? I'm hoping, but also dreading, the potentiality of there being a spider branch. Would be interesting. Can I kill you, friend? Let us try a chess piece. Turned you invisible. Let's try a second time. If I can not confuse you, I kind of need you to be paralyzed. Okay, we deformed you, and that's it, hey? So you could still hit us by accident, but we might be able to take you down before the confusion ends. Fantastic. Curse Cloak, since you have another, I guess we could temporarily, you're not wrong. But I was going to wait for the next curse to roll so we didn't have to wait for that changeover. And would you look at that, we did get a pretty fantastic one. Always happy to get evocations. I'm hoping we find ourselves like a condenser vein soon or something like that, of course. And as mentioned earlier, Null's melee combat, just allowing us to more easily switch to whatever weapon we so desire. How could I not? How could I not? So the question becomes, do I want a gray cloak that will probably match with anything that we come across in the dungeon, or do I want a bit more of a statement piece? Go with the royal red here. Let's go with the royal red. The kind of copper and the red goes all right together, and we'll see what else we come across. Why is evocations alone? I think because it's just too strong. It's too good to pair it up with anything else. At least that's how I feel in my book, just because of how much I love evocables in the game. Can't help but feel like it's fair, because it specifically is a nerf against what I think is one of the more powerful options. Let's corner ourselves here like a little bit of a fool, but we should be okay. The High Priest didn't notice us, and that's the truly scary enemy that we found there. The rest of these buddies should be a bit more straightforward. Unless they just keep coming. Okay, that is more than I expected. We could try and ride this out slightly longer using digging. So what I'm thinking is to dig back this way. Then I need one more to go this direction. And there we are. Now we'll be unable to be smitten or smote by our priest friends around the corner, so that helps out a great deal. Even just being attacked by one enemy at a time is much better than what we were encountering. Probably should have done this even earlier into the fight if I'd known the sheer number of enemies that was going to be coming our way. But as is, still works out just fine. And now we can always come back to this corridor to take care of any of the priests that we find on the rest of our trip here. Maybe not so much for just a simple baby orc priest, but a high priest. 100% I'm running away with my tail between my legs. Ooh, even with the orc knight themselves. Let's pop around so that they can't mite up their orc friends. Though you do hurt, hey? You're extremely poisoned. But oh boy. Are we in for a world of pain? In that case, I'm gonna go for the teleport. It's super risky in orc with our current level of clearing. But I'm willing to take the risk here. In fact, I will use one more heal wounds. Try and lethally poison you. Oh my gosh, and then run away? Am I gonna feel more experienced? No? No, you say, game. That was being unreasonable, you say. Okay. Well, that's a shame. It does mean that we'll have to fight that knight at some point in the future. Never mind. I'm sorry for doubting you, DCSS. There we go. All of a sudden leveling up all of our skills as we randomly walk around. Absolutely love to see it. And you know what? Instead of just auto-exploring, I think we should actually head this way. And should be relatively safer up here. At least no kind of end vault enemies to have to take into account. Though maybe counteracting that is the fact that we're not likely to find anything really of note back there. Let's toss a stone real quick. Get the parade started. And that high priest might come gallivanting around at some point. We'll have to see. We just hit level 13. Isn't that a bit low for Orc? Definitely for Orc 2. I would say it depends on your dungeon in general. Like, as we saw, Lair was a little bit of a no-go, and Nergal kind of blocking that off for the time being. We could go back out to the regular dungeon, though the Tengus that we ran into kind of scare me there. So I'm going here as the least dangerous, regardless of whether we're maybe slightly behind the ball or behind the curve a little bit. Hopefully it won't be too bad in the long run. Ooh, and that high priest did wake up and went gallivanting off somewhere. Huh. How about that? Well, hopefully they don't come out in the worst possible moment. Never mind, you're still 12? Yes, even worse, unfortunately. But definitely doing okay. It all kind of depends on what type of character you're running. Because if you're pretty good against physical damage, and you just take into account the smiting from the priests, you're generally in an okay place for Orc, depending on which layout you get. Also, you know, lots of little factors, but for the most part, I'm feeling okay with our current state of being here. So satisfying, I agree. So anytime we get those delayed poison kills, there's something truly wonderful about it. So, one Orc priest. High Orc priest, I should say. But I'm happy to take you on. Oh, unless you lose us. It is a very confusing little turn here. Don't really blame you completely, friend. Ooh, and we should definitely be using our sword. That could have been very rough. Trying to kill them quickly enough that they don't bring in summons everywhere. High Priest probably scarier than a Tengu. I don't think so for this character. In general, I think I would feel that way about certain makeups, but the defensive capabilities on the High Priest are a lot worse than the Tengu. The main issue is just how good that dodge is. The evasion on the Tengu enemies means that the majority of our hits are doing absolutely nothing, Well, with the High Priest, as long as I'm being kind of cheesy about these corners, making sure to, you know, get their attention and then walk around, and as long as they don't summon too many demons, we'll be okay. This is getting towards too many demons, but that's fine because we can just walk back. Make sure the High Priest sees us here, or just completely loses track of us. That's cool too. I was going to run upstairs and then wait for the summons to time out, then come down and kill the priest. Again, if we're a little cheesy, we're generally okay. But this works as well. Okay, we definitely called some attention to ourselves, so let's let our initial friends come this way. You two, priest buddy. Perfect. And there's another high priest noticing us. So I will run around here and find my little hill to die on, my nice little corner spot. Then we just have to apply enough poison onto the high priest. It's real close. There we go. So yeah, that's about as bad as we can expect it to go when we're in these kind of advantageous positions where we're being a little bit cheeky. It's still not too bad. Can they summon demons that malmutate? That's a good question. I feel like they can. Either them or the orc sorcerers can bring out Calcodemons, I believe. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a nightmare scenario if that does come to pass, though that's also kind of built into the anti-smite defense mechanisms, just because when you're hiding around the corner, giving the enemy less turns where they'll actively take steps against you like summoning monsters, and instead just let them walk towards us and make fools of themselves. That works for me.